welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and build this luxury base game mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1, and I will also leave a link down below in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So I built this, well, I couldn't build it on a 64x64 because we don't actually have that in base game. The biggest we can go up to is a 50x50, so I did do that in Willow Creek, and this build has 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and it came in at 397,453 simoleons, which is, you know, a little bit pricey, but you know, it is a big mansion after all, so it's only really going to be for your more kind of richer sims anyway, so I suppose that price doesn't really matter to, you know, those type of families. So I'm really happy how this build turned out actually. And it was on a very kind of short time to do this on. I think this took me about like an hour and a half, around that sort of time frame to do, which is no time at all. Well, maybe a little bit more than an hour and a half. Between like an hour and a half and an hour and 50, I would say, because I am like pre-recording this video. Now, by the time you see this video, I'll already be back from my trip, but I'm just going to do it now because I don't want to come back and then have to build a 50x50 within a day. So I did this, and well, I should have planned it maybe a little bit better because I ended up doing this build the day before I'm leaving, which is really bad timing, and I'm literally doing this voiceover like at night time, which I don't normally do, so I'm having to do that because I kind of didn't plan it too well, but we're doing it anyway. I'm so happy how this build turned out considering how much pressure I was under doing this build, and to add to all that pressure, like I said, this is a base game build, which I don't do too often. As you probably know, I use way too many packs in my build, and I'm really sorry about that, but sometimes I just kind of want to do what I want in terms of a theme, and I don't really think about the packs too much. And sometimes I do limited pack builds, I do limited pack builds, and also sometimes what I've been doing recently is, say if I use 1 or 2 items from a pack, I'll just remove that pack from the build because there's no point if you don't have that pack and you see it on the gallery and you'll be like, oh well, I can't download this build anymore, when really you can because it's just 1 item used, but I think it's just easier that way if I just remove the pack, so that's what I have been trying to do recently. But this one is base game, so no packs at all. I know some people in base game builds do like the free packs as well. Personally, I don't do that because I think when you see that on the gallery, it doesn't class as a base game build, so I don't tend to bother with that. And actually, to be honest, I rarely ever use those free packs. I don't remember using them like ever really, maybe once or twice when they came to game, like, you know, Christmas builds or something, but apart from that, I've never really used it in a long time, so I wouldn't really use it anyway, so no point really using it here. So I did actually do this build, as you can see, after we got the 1000 debug update. So you can see I did go ahead and put 3 cars there, probably a little bit overkill, but I thought it is a nice big fancy mansion, so I'd imagine they have lots of nice cars in the driveway, so I went ahead and did that. Nice big kind of roundabout driveway there as well. And I did also go ahead and use that massive tree that we got up in the update as well, which I placed in the back garden area, and that kind of was a really nice sort of like statement piece in the build, I guess, if that's the right word. I'm not really too sure how to describe it, but it kind of just really stands out in the build. And it's actually like a gazebo under there, there's a small like landscape under that tree, and also I did go ahead and put like a climbing frame, like monkey bar thing as well for the kids as well under there, so that tree kind of takes up a lot of the space in the back garden area, but it's also really nice as well. And another thing I noticed is that that tree is actually found in Willow Creek, because if you look at like the background of this lot, you will actually see that huge massive tree behind it, where kind of you can walk as well. So I went ahead and placed it there. I thought it kind of fits in really nicely with the landscaping too. So just for reference, I did build this on the Oakenstead lot, which is like in the left hand side of Willow Creek. I mean, you can't really get confused that much. There's the park, which is 50x50, and then there's the Oakenstead lot, which is also 50x50, so not really any getting mixed up there, but that's where I placed it. I suppose you could place it in another world. I can't think, I don't know, there isn't one in New Quest, but there is other worlds that you can place it in, but I don't know if it would fit that well, but you know, you can try. So, like I said, I don't know when this is going to the gallery. It should be up by the time you see this video, but again, I am kind of pre-recording a bit, so I'm not really too sure when. So another thing I noticed as well is that, as you can see, I'm doing like, well, first of all, I am doing green for like the siding, which I think is a bit of an unusual choice. I know it's not really a common thing that people do. I actually really like the green, and I kind of didn't really plan on it. I just sort of randomly changed the colour swatch of the windows to the green one, and I thought, oh, let's do like a green build today. So that's what we're doing here. And I just kind of thought it'd be a nice kind of change, but actually saying that, I do a lot of green builds, like builds with green siding in it. I just think it's a really nice change from what I normally do for a while, so I always tend to go for that, so I did that. But the other thing I was going to say is that I did go ahead and do like this, like I wanted to kind of do like a two-tone siding, so on the top floor it's not green, and I went for this like brownish colour one, but it actually turned out to be a little bit more pink, so I did actually end up changing it to like a creamy colour, and I think it just blended all a bit nicer because some of the windows have like white frames, and some of them have like green as well, so I think it just made everything a little bit more cohesive and it just all flowed together a bit nicer. So you also saw there, I did those little lines on the grass. That's just like a little feature that I haven't actually done in a while. I normally only do it on like farm builds where there's like a little farmland or something, where you can like, you know, I normally like do like strips of dirt so you can place plants on it. So that's what I normally do. I never really do like the grass like that, like strips of like darker grass. But it's just to add like a more sort of nicer look, I guess. I don't really know what's the right word for it, but it just looks a bit more grander and expensive, like a really like nicely mowed, can't say that word, mowed lawn. So I went ahead and did that, and I think it just added really nicely to like the grand and luxury feel of this build. I mean, it is a luxury base game build after all, so I wanted to go ahead and include that. I don't think I've done that before though in terms of grass, but I think it's a nice touch, and I might go ahead and add it in again at some point in another build. And yeah, so we're just adding in that tree as you saw there. That's really big. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. I did try sizing it down and also kind of moving it around a little bit because kind of like those little dangly things off the tree, I don't even know what you would call them, but they kind of went through the glass roof there, as you can see. I don't think they are going through anymore though. I did manage to change it to not have that, but it was giving me a little bit of a problem, but I really wanted to include it, so I did make it work. And you know, this is only a base game build, so there isn't that much I could do with the backyard area, so you will see here that it is pretty sparse, not really that much going on. I did just do like the big pool area there. I thought I'd make it a little bit bigger since, you know, there isn't that much I can really do with the backyard, so I did make the pool a little bit bigger and stand out a little bit more. Did go ahead and just put a few decorations around that, such as a few fountains, which I do shortly, and I also went ahead and just put a few seats around it, and also as well like some outdoor like couches as well, and like a coffee table, and I think that's about it in terms of outdoor seating. Oh, I did also do like a little barbecue area with like an umbrella seating area too, like a little table there too, and under the gazebo I just did more seating. I actually used the ones from the Caribbean update. Now I don't know why, but I never use those Caribbean like chairs and couches and stuff that we got with that update, but I have used them a few times in today's build for some reason. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm using them today, but I did go ahead and do that. So now just working a bit on the interior. We haven't finished completely with the exterior, we've just got a little bit more to do later, which we'll finish off at the end, but now working on the interior. So we're starting off here with the kitchen diner. I always tend to start with the kitchen in my builds. I don't know why it is. Sometimes I start off with the living room, sometimes it's the kitchen. I don't know why, but what's your favourite room to build when you do speed builds, or if you do like house builds in general? What's your favourite type of room to do? Because I feel it is kitchens for some reason. I don't really know why though. Like, I have no idea why. I just tend to do them first. So yeah, if you have a favourite room, then let me know. So we're just working on the dining room here. It's all kind of open plan on the bottom floor, kind of just all sort of flows nicely through archways, which I really like, and I do a lot in my builds actually. I don't know why I do that a lot, but I just tend to. I think it's just a nice look, so I went ahead and did that. Got a nice big fireplace there with like a little sculpture thing on. Also another thing, those little sculptures on top of fireplaces, there is like a menu for it. Like if you go under like the living room section in game and you click like the sculpture, like above the little kind of picture of the fireplace, those items I never really use for some reason. I don't know why, but I did go ahead and use it today since there are a lot of base game ones, and I feel like it adds really nicely to like the sort of luxury grand feel of the build, so I went ahead and did that. And this right here is like the living room, but it's split off into two areas. So it's kind of got one area which is sort of like the more formal side, I guess, has like just, you know, the fireplace with no TV and more kind of formal setting, and then it's got this room right here which is the more informal family room. It has a nice big TV, some more relaxing kind of sofas there and a few other things as well, but it does have a grand piano in this room, which I feel like kind of contradicts the other room, which is a little bit more formal, and then in the family room there's a grand piano, so that doesn't really work out that well, but I just needed something to fill up the space with. That's a problem that I do have in these base game builds, which are a little bit on the bigger side, is that sometimes I do have a bit of trouble filling up space because I can't, you know, just some things that I use from other packs to fill up space with, I don't always have, so you know, just make it a little bit more difficult, but I did manage to make it work. And a lot of the bedrooms as well are pretty big because it's all very, you know, just it's a big mansion, so all the bedrooms are bigger size as well. So a lot of the bedrooms have their own fireplace, like this one. This room, by the way, is the master, I would say, because it does have an ensuite bathroom. And also some of the other bedrooms have like their own like study desk and seating areas as well, just because of how big this build was. So another thing as well is that I've realised that I've done this full voiceover from now, like we're past the 10-minute mark and I haven't done a single, you know, jump cut or anything. Like I've done this whole voiceover within one take, and I don't know how I've managed that, because normally when I do voiceovers late in the day or at night, I'm all like messy and I'm tired and I can't get my words out, but I've managed to do this full voiceover, 10 minutes so far in one take. So I'm probably going to jinx myself now. I'm going to mess up in a couple of minutes, but I'm glad, you know, that's been alright. Anyway, so we're now just working on one of the kids' rooms. Now, I know a kids' room in one of my builds, that's a rarity, but I did go ahead and do a kids' room today. I just thought it'd be nice, since I don't do them too often. As you probably know by now, I do like to do neutral rooms just to kind of keep it easy for you to fit any type of family into one of my builds, so I don't do personalised rooms for that reason. But sometimes, oh, there we go, I did mess up there. Sometimes I do go ahead and add those in just as something a little bit different, and I know some people do find it helpful that way too, so I did go ahead and do that today. But I didn't go too overboard. I just did one room there which is really, really personalised to like 2 twin girls or something. And then this room right here, I was kind of imagining like a teen boy or something. That's just an idea. You may not, you know, have that in mind. You may have something else for this room. That's totally fine. That's kind of just what I was thinking as I was building it. And he's kind of artsy as well. He has like, you know, just the musical arts and also art itself, because he has an easel and as well as a guitar. There's also another teen room there, as you can see behind this one, that pink one. I really imagine like a really bratty sort of teen living there. I don't know why, that's kind of what I was thinking as I was building that room. As I'm doing those personalised rooms, actually, I do tend to have like a little thought in mind of what type of sim might live there. So that's kind of what I was thinking for that room. And there's also a purple one as well, which is more the neutral side. There isn't really, I think, too personalised going on in that one, which we'll get on to shortly. So like I said, there are 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and also as well I didn't mention, but like I was saying before, there was that living room which is kind of divided up into 2 sort of areas, like I was saying before, the informal and the formal side. There is also like a separate sort of like building on the left hand side of the house, which you may have seen earlier, and you may have seen it in the thumbnail at the start as well. That's actually another living room there, so there's kind of like 3 living rooms, I guess, in total in this build. So that one is very formal. It does have a TV in it, but it also has a bar area and a few other things as well. So that's kind of like a separate place. Maybe you go there for parties and stuff like that. If you have people over, you could use that separate, like, sort of guest house sort of thing. It's not like a guest house, but it's so, you know, it's sort of got a thing about it being separate from the main part of the house, I'm trying to say. So now we're just working a little bit more on the exterior. We're pretty much finished with the majority of the build now. We've just got this kind of garage area to do and that other living room area that was talked about before. And then at the end, I do go ahead and just add in some more things to the backyard area. I've got a few more like sort of flower beds to do, but I don't think I did that on camera though, because I did show you quite a bit of landscaping at the start and like the front part of the build, so I didn't go ahead and show you all of that though. And yeah, so we're just working on that little gym there, nothing too special about it. That was that little garage area, which I tend to do a lot. If I put a garage in my build, it normally turns out to be a gym, so I did go ahead and do that there. And then we just got this little living room area to finish off, and I think that is pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this voiceover up here, because we'll be getting on to the screenshots in just a second, and I always tend to run over into the screenshots anyway. So I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and you can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!